Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's June 19th, 2014. I'm Logan Burgess. From my right here is Cody Bills to help break down a positive day for corn, soybeans, and wheat in Chicago. Jumping into the quotes here, you see corn up 9 cents. Soybeans led to the upside, up 11 3/4 there on the July contract. And we had Chicago wheat making a good pickup as well, up 6.5 cents there on the Chicago wheat contract. Cody, this morning export sales was the big story out. What did those numbers play into the action today?
Well, the only real positive thing out of export sales was out of soybeans here, coming in with 97,000 metric tons. That was very positive here, especially when you look at the fact that we're already ahead of pace, about 104 million bushels ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations. So the fact that we come in on the high side of analyst expectations, couple that with the 140,000 metric ton reportable sale here to unknown destinations here yesterday, that's very positive. Shows that there is demand after weeks of selling here in soybeans. There is some export demand to be picked up down at these levels. When you look at corn, it was relatively disappointing. Only 109,000 metric tons. That was missing analyst expectations and down around 73% from last week's sales. So really ugly for corn here this week. But when you look at corn exports on the whole, we are about 154 million bushels ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations. So that's very positive and a good positive underlying story here for the corn market. You know, the only problem is today's numbers just weren't very good. And wheat numbers weren't very good as well. You know, coming in on the low side of analyst expectations. But the one positive thing here, we did see a tender here for the Jordan State Grain Buying Agency for 100,000 metric tons of wheat and 100,000 metric tons of barley. When you look at the FOB bids right now, the Gulf is somewhere around $6 more competitive here than Russian or Ukrainian prices, and but when you look at that compared to Europe, it's just not that positive. I can't imagine we're going to win this, but we'll just have to see. We certainly could use it.
Right, certainly. Well, you know, in today's action, Cody, a lot of talk was focused around the extensive flooding that we're seeing across the grain belt right now, and that seemed to be helping the new crop contracts. Obviously, there's some concern about lost acres due to this precipitation, but I think the big takeaway right now is that if we can get a little bit of a rally, a little bit of a snapback in the December corn contract and the November soybean contract, I think it should be used as a pricing opportunity. If you take a look here at the weather models, we are expecting a drying trend coming into the northern corn belt here, really starting on Tuesday of next week. So that should help alleviate some issues. And maybe even bigger than the near-term forecast right now is just the fact that for every picture on Twitter that we see of a flooded field, you know, how many fields are there out there that are actually being benefited by this rain? I wouldn't expect to see a big decline in the good to excellent ratings on Monday from the USDA. So I think that long term, I don't think this is going to be a major factor on harvested acreage, you know, when we're looking at the September or the October USDA report.
Absolutely. I think all in all here, we have a little bit of buying snapback after some hard selling pressure in the last couple weeks. I think that should be, as you said, sold into, potentially look for opportunities in the cash market. Don't necessarily go out there and blindly sell. But guys, one last thing before we go. El Nino is coming. That's the title of the web meeting that Planalytics is hosting on June 26th. It talks about El Nino, everything that you need to know, and it highlights some of the factors that will influence the intensity of this particular cycle, and really highlights the fact, or really everything that North American agricultural producers need to know. So if you do want any information or want to learn how to register here, give us a call at 877-472-4607. Other than that, that wraps up today's show. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Give us a call if you have any questions, or remember to take a demo of the mobile trading platform there at grainhedge.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Friday for the weekly wrap-up.